Hello, we're back with a continuation of the Italian Tribune series with the publisher, Buddy Fortunato. And we're here in his office for all of the interviews. And around me are images of the Italian Tribune from the 30s, framed, and maybe you can see in the background awards, plaques, wonderful proclamations. So I thought, let me just pause and basically find out where these awards are from, and this one especially in front of us is from Cerami, the town of his ancestors. So I'm going to let you talk about this, and then we'll talk about what kind of Italians have come out of the woodwork and said, hey, grazie, thank you.
Well, Father, I have been very fortunate that the Italian-American community has wanted to recognize the paper and what we do, and they want to honor me, and I have tried not to become that person going accepting awards. I had always felt it was my responsibility as the publisher of the paper to promote and project others. That is what I believe, and I can honestly tell you that if it was not for the fact that I know you so long and know the Skirty family, that I really would not have made myself available for this.
Thank you.
Because I don't want the attention to be on me. I would rather it to be on others in the community, and it's the job of the paper to promote them. That's the way I look at it. But I've been very fortunate that people have seen fit to recognize the paper through me. This is something special because when I visited Cerami, which is a little town in Sicily where my grandmother, you see their names there.
Fortunato and Maria Antonia
Testa.
Grandma's name was Testa.
Right. When I visited there, and that's the town where my grandparents were born and emigrated from, and I had heard so much about it when I was growing up. I wanted to go, and my grandmother still has her roots, her family is still there. So we were able to visit with them, and I've been back since this initial visit. But when I went the first time, we had, as we pulled into the square of this little town, the people were out in mass, in force.
They knew you were coming.
They knew I was coming. And I had contacted the mayor and told him that we wanted to do something. I wanted to do something on behalf of my grandparents. And I didn't know what that was, but, if he wanted us to do some plantings or repair a window, a stained glass window in a church, or repair the organ. I had no idea what they were going to ask of me. But I knew that I wanted to do something on behalf of my grandparents. And I spoke to the council, and I was able to deliver a good message that they understood, Father. That was
Sicilian?
It was in Italian.
Okay.
But they were able to understand it, and I felt that my day was made, with that alone. After I had spoken to them, they told me that they did not want anything from me. That they had put a plaque up, and this is a copy of the plaque, which indicates that I was there speaking, and they put this plaque up on behalf of my grandmother and grandfather
That's beautiful.
in town hall. And, you know, that's one of the things that I cherish.
That's beautiful. Different change, because you are a man of integrity, and these awards came because of that, I'm sure. Talk about your role in the concept of Christopher Columbus, because you've written a lot about that. Your paper has extensively
Well,
covered the controversies
The
of our paisan.
Christopher Columbus, because today there are so many people who want to rewrite history, which I think is a major, major mistake. They have made him out to be a bad person. Winston Churchill said, to paraphrase what he said, was, if you forget where you came from, you really have no idea where you're going. And if they start trying to rewrite history, I just think the country that we grew up in, the country that we knew, is going to be rudderless. They've made Columbus out to be a very bad guy, and that's not true. He was not a slave trader. He had nothing to do with the American Indian, but these people say that he's anti-Indian. Nothing could be further from the truth. He had really been sponsored to be a saint
Yes, right.
in the church.
Right.
And he was acting on behalf of the King and Queen of Spain,
Yep.
and to find riches and to bring them back. He didn't know whether it was going to be edible, something of value is what he was told to come back with. And I just think that the people of today are too politically correct, and in seeking to become politically correct, they become wrong. They don't become
And blind.
very much blind. And I personally feel that the assault on Columbus is assault on the Italian culture, and that's what I write, that's what I believe, and that's what I argue. And I just think that Columbus has been made, he has been thrown into a bushel with other arguments by people who want to, for whatever reason, make this country into something that it really isn't.
Right.
So Columbus is someone to be admired. You know, just as we have honored the people who have gone to the moon, Columbus is in that category.
Yeah.
And he really is in a more elite category because of the technology he didn't have and the circumstances that he endured. So, you know, Father, we could talk about this for a while, but I feel very strongly
Good.
about the Columbus position.
Excellent, excellent. And you partake in Columbus-related events, parade, your dinner, and the.
We have a gala each year where we honor outstanding Italian Americans, and it's become a regular event in the Italian American community. People look forward to it. We have tried to honor and recognize a celebrity, a well-known Italian American, at that dinner with what I call the civilian awards too. And my father-in-law started that, and we've honored people like Frank Sinatra, Joe DiMaggio. This was when we used to do the parade in Newark. We had the second largest Columbus parade in the country
Wow.
to Manhattan's. And then when I took over the paper, when I bought the paper, I was standing on the reviewing stand looking at the participants, and there weren't a lot of Italians participating in that anymore.
Wow.
You know, and what was happening was what I was afraid of. And I used to tell my father-in-law, the Italian and the Italian American are going to become Americanized, and they're going to forget. They're going to forget their culture. They're going to forget the history. And so I did away with the parade because it cost us a lot of money to do that. And we started the dinner on a big scale, and that's been a great success.
That's great.
To recognize people.
Yeah, I think people have to always appreciate their roots and go forward wherever they are, if they're here in another country. But we have to know who we are, and if you don't know who you are, how do you appreciate the future? That's all right.
Do you want me to?
This is Father Louis Gertie. We're winding up with some external music, our last session, but there's going to be another one. I'll tell you in a few seconds what that's all about, with Buddy Fortunato, publisher of the Italian Tribune. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Buddy, for
Father, thank
another
you.
section. Thank you.
You.